10th for the Andlauer, Ammermüller. It's always the same guys in front.
So,
and it's a 10th here, 10th here.
What is it about Larry ten Voorde that has given him those 3 out of 4 wins? Is it that he's lucked into certain things, or is he just a flipping good driver?
I think the most important thing with the Cup car is just to drive Cup cars, nothing else. And that's what Larry does since 3 years. So he has the experience, he knows the tracks, he knows the cars inside out. So that's what makes a good Cup driver. As soon as you start to jump around, ABS cars, GT3 cars, going back to Cup cars, you lose that kind of feeling for the brakes.
Interesting.
This is super important. It's all about the brake. Without it, exactly. That's there's the last half a second is in the brakes.
Interesting. Well, that's a very interesting insight, because you do wonder what it is that has given him that real edge over everybody else, as we hear the roar of the cars pulling away from the grid. And we're just sat in a commentary box, which is just to the side of the start-finish line. And I've got headphones on and I still can't hear anything. A wonderful roar of all those Porsche 911 engines just bursting into life.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. You're going to see the guys waving a lot, not revving the car too much, or warming the rear. You focus on warming the fronts, because it's quite tough to get up to temperature with the front tires. Rear is not an issue. But especially the brakes and the lockup is really an issue if you have cold tires or not perfectly temperated tires. So this you're going to see now in the formation lap. And for the start, from this year on, you see the cars starting. All of them are starting quite equal, because there's a new function in the car that the car can only rev up to 5,800 RPM.
Okay.
In let's say standing position. So that means all cars, you don't ruin your clutch when you start, or you cannot really ruin it. So that's why since this year the starts are quite similar. In the past you've seen a lot of things going on at starts. I think it became a little easier now.
Really? Interesting. So that's something new for 2019.
Exactly, because we were a little bit worried about the clutch wear, because the best way to start was like revving up to 8,500 and then just work with the clutch.
It's phenomenal force it puts through the car as well.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's not that healthy.
So the tyre warming process is underway. You've seen the grid popping up on your screen whilst we've been chatting. Larry ten Voorde on pole position with Dylan Pereira in P2, and Julian Andlauer and the number 27 car is Jean-Baptiste Simonauer on the second row. The 92 of Luca Rettenbacher and Leon Kohler on the next row. And so yes, those preparations are underway as we come back onto the grid, and I imagine that the pole sitter is going to be very keen to make sure that he's not sat with the car stationary for too long while the grid behind him forms up.
I think now today it's not a big issue, because the tarmac temperature and everything is pretty high, so the brakes and everything heats up the tire and the rim, so I think it's not a big issue for Larry now to wait there. But nevertheless, you don't want to sit there waiting for all the guys to park their cars. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So an impressive field of cars. We're waiting for the roar of this lot to pull off. You can see them there ready to go, and it's very, very close to lights out time here at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg, Austria. We're so pleased you could join us. I'm in the commentary booth alongside me, Lars Kern, who's on commentary duties this afternoon as well. The grid is formed, the green flag is waved to give the all clear, and we are ready to go racing. We're waiting for the 5 lights to go off, and we are go! And it's Larry ten Voorde who makes a rocket start off pole position, but Dylan Pereira looking on the inside, and it's Dylan Pereira who almost nabs it at the start. All the cars going wide. Now, I don't know whether that's going to be an issue on the first lap in terms of track limits, but they all got through the first corner, that difficult turn 1, through the kink that is turn 2, and up the hill into turn 3 for the sharp right-hander as Larry ten Voorde is in the lead, and he just once again steps off in front. So there you can see him there, and it's Andlauer, who started in P3, who has moved his way into second place. But Dylan Pereira coming back at him, taking a look on the outside, door handles rubbing, but no can do. And now we got a spinner. We got, oh my goodness, that's a big one. We have got a lot of damage there. This is almost certainly going to be a safety car, and that is the Simonauer car.
Yeah, exactly.
And the number 17 car of Lucas Oertel, the number 50 car of Tim Zimmermann, and don't know what happened there, but that is an awful lot of damage. And let's just hope that these drivers are right, and not a safety car. It's going to be a red flag. So we're going to bring it all to a stop. And it's the 88 car as well involved for Reese Barr. And you can see Tim Zimmermann just clutching his arm there. I don't know if he's hurt himself or whether that is... gosh, that's a mess, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems like Simonauer was just spun on the exit by another car, and then he was just in the middle of the field. And I mean, yeah, if you arrive and he's just there, you cannot avoid him. Exactly.
I'm impressed you got that from that little snippet that we saw. Yeah, it's experience, you see. I imagine the car's going to come to a stop on the grid. A lot of damage there, though. Gosh, that's a very bad start to the weekend for those drivers, isn't it? And you see from his body language, he's utterly fed up.
Yeah, it's bad for Simonauer. He was posting a really good qualifying, and he was already having a bad weekend in Hockenheim. He was having a chassis there already.
Really?
Yeah, and this looks pretty big as well.
It does, doesn't it? The front of the car pointing in the opposite direction to the back. That's not good. And what a mess that is.
Yeah, but hopefully, I mean, you see all the guys out of the cars, everybody's all right.
That's great, and that's all that matters, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cars can be rebuilt, and really good to see the drivers walking away and uninjured, and that's a big credit, because that was a fairly high-speed crash. I'm looking to see, was that up on turn 7?
Yes, no, it was turn 4, going into turn 4. Okay. I mean, it's a second gear corner, but you carry a lot of speed.
Right.
And then on the exit, it's super, super tight. You're close to the gravel. So there it's always easy to, you see him. Go. Exactly. He spun.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And then he came back. And, and so, then he's just there.
I mean, and he was T-boned very hard, wasn't he? And I can see why he's clutching his arm. Spinning onto the gravel and then back onto the track like that, I mean, that's not a good thing to do, is it?
I think it wasn't too smart to stay on throttle. You see his car, his rear wheels are still spinning when he spun. So normally when you spin, you should just push the brake and then you go in the direction you went, but you don't come back to the track. Yeah, and
is that inexperience? Is that just over eager to get back into the race?
I think that's it. I can make it.
Yeah, and then ouch! Suddenly a lot of damage, and Zimmermann really gave him a proper thump, and that's going to have bent that chassis good and proper, isn't it?
I think Oertel was the guy who bent the chassis, because he just crashed on the front wheel. And the chassis is quite weak, so I'm pretty sure the Lechner guys have to do a proper job overnight to rebuild that car.
Gosh, that's going to be more than an overnight job, isn't it?
But they can do it.
Can they really?
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
Also in Monaco, we've seen some guys rebuilding a car from a new chassis.
Wow, that's amazing. Amazing. Gosh, well, that was an exciting first lap, wasn't it? So, if you just joined us, you've missed this lot. Look at the mess. We've had a fairly major incident on the first lap, and the number 27 car of Simonauer spinning and coming back onto the track and being collected by a whole host of other cars. And the track is covered in debris and the race has been stopped. So this gives us a chance to catch our breath. I guess that cleaning that lot up is not the work of a moment. We just want to, we've got the interviewer out on track now. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about what he's saying.
stehen wieder so, wie es eben beim ersten Start der Fall gewesen ist. Das heißt, Dylan Carrera darf auf seine zweite Position. Bei dem sah es ja erstmal nach einem Bombenstart aus.
Exactly, that's the procedure they do if there's a red flag within the first 2 laps.
Right.
They go back to the grid positions they've had before. So it's not the result you've seen after turn 4. They go back to the grid they had from the qualifying.
So effectively a complete restart.
Exactly, just without these cars.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and who's that? What's he saying there? That's that Dylan Pereira he's talking to.
He's not saying too much.
Probably not a lot to say.
Exactly. Yeah. They're just like, okay, good. We have to do it again.
Yeah.
Just talking about the procedure again.
Yeah. Okay. That's good because I don't understand any of this. So it's so good. I've got someone to tell me what's being said.
Yeah, exactly. And Dylan Pereira is just saying he was unlucky within the last races, and he's pretty happy now after having a pretty bad start. Now being back in P2 again for the restart.
It's a second go at it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was talking about turn 1 that for sure he was going for P1 for Larry, but he was saying for sure you try to be hard but not unfair.
Yeah.
So that's what you've seen at the start. He had the inside, but he didn't run wide. He gave space to Larry, but with this he lost the place to Julian.
Yeah.
So that's why he was a bit unlucky. He had the chance to go for P1, but then he went to P3. So
because he did make a very good start. We just see the replay again there, and you see Larry Ten Voort. He goes across to try and shut the door, but Dylan is in there, isn't he? And I thought he was going to come out of the corner in the lead, to be quite honest. But what do I know?
No, but because he was on the inside, he was having a pretty bad exit.
Yeah.
And Julian was on the ideal line.
Yeah.
And just having a better exit, and that's why he could close up in the slipstream and could make a move for P2.
As someone who's never raced anything, not to mention a Porsche around the Red Bull Ring, this is very good insight, I have to tell you. And we saw a car just not getting away from the grid there as well. I don't know who that was, but maybe we can identify that later. But looking back here, just see how chaotic it was when that race started. And it's just, as you said, so competitive and so level. And Larry Ten Voort just once again though taking control, and it's going to be a brave man who bets against him winning this race, I guess. On board with the 22 car of Nicolas Scholl. Just see going into that first corner.
It was pretty close. I mean, you see a lot of cars going out of on turn 1. I mean, nobody tells you that, but it's pretty allowed in turn 1 to avoid anything, to use the exit, because otherwise it's not possible to make the corner for all cars together. Same goes to turn 2 normally.
Brilliant, because that was a question I was going to ask you as we just re-watched the incident that's caused this red flag. We saw loads of cars going over the yellow curbs, and one of the questions I was going to ask is that something that would be penalised, but surely that's not possible within the first lap.
Otherwise you have to penalise all cars.
Yeah, absolutely. Which we've I think pretty well everyone's had a penalty at some point over the last couple of days. You can see the amount of fluid on the track there, big clean-up operation, and all credit to the track staff who do a great job cleaning it up. Okay, quick word with Larry Ten Voort now, so here we go, translation time.
Yeah, they're just talking about the first start was more or less a training start, not for all. He cannot really understand at the moment.
He's replying in English.
Nah, he's talking to his engineer at the moment.
They must love it when you stick a microphone in your face. He's like, stop talking.
Yeah, he's talking about the start. His start was pretty good, but Carrera's start was better. But then he was pretty happy that he could make it on the outside using the wide line.
Great.
Yeah.
Kalkuliert man das in der ersten Runde ein? Es wird ja toleriert. Oder macht man das wirklich erst quasi, wenn man den Körper getroffen hat?
Exactly. Now they're talking about the turn one going wide, that it's tolerated to do it. And he also said, I mean, for sure you calculate to do this, just to have the space for more cars on the inside. So just to avoid any situation happening on the inside.
Brilliant. I'm so pleased you're able to translate that, because that's really interesting stuff, and we don't normally get that insight. No, that's really, really interesting. I was about to ask you something and I've clean forgotten what it was. No, I was going to ask you about overtaking on this track. Is this classed as a circuit that is difficult to overtake on?
Especially going up the hill to turn 3, it's a pretty good opportunity to overtake, because turn 1 is a pretty difficult corner, because you have the inside curb, you have a little bump, you have the exit curb, and if somebody that just having a little mistake, you can make a move on him on into turn 3. For the rest of the track into turn 4, there's a little chance as well, but it's normally you have to do it with contact, because it's quite it's not nice overtaking into that one, especially in the one make series. If you look at GT Masters, if you have cars with more power but less aero or whatever, maybe it's easier to overtake. But with the cup cars, I think the best opportunity to do it is turn 3, and then from turn 4 on it gets pretty fast. And overtaking in there is, I mean, it's possible, but normally you don't see that too much.
No. And then I'm guessing out of 10 onto the home straight, if you've got a good line and you're close.
The problem is that turn 1 is a little bit too fast to outbrake a guy. Because you don't see too many overtakings into turn 1 just because of this, because there's only one real line to go through. So you normally don't try to make a move in turn 1. You prepare everything to do it up the hill into turn 3.
So this track would be classed as a difficult track to overtake on then, in the grand scale of things.
I mean, there's one really, really good opportunity. So that's why, I mean, it's better than, I don't know, Oschersleben, or where it's really like,
Oschersleben was hard.
Exactly, there is no overtaking. Because there's no real chance to overtake, because you only have quick corners and small straights. And then, there's nothing you can do. I mean, the cars, the only things you can do is ride height, camber, toe, and the bars. But all the teams and all the drivers, they are so good at it. I mean, there are no big difference between the cars, so that's why, and also not between the drivers, so that's why you don't see big differences in speed. So it's not possible to overtake without touching or.
So it is so close, and you're saying that there's not a lot of advantage, and you can get just on setup. You are literally, everybody is level, and that makes it very competitive, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's why you always see, I mean, guys like 1040, Andlauer, Pereira, who are doing Carrera Cup and Super Cup since years. You see them on top.
Oh, here we go. We've got some more chat just as we are going for the 3-minute board.
Exactly. They're just saying that the start will be from this grid on, but it's going to be a safety car start. So it's not going to be a standing start again. So that means we will not see too much action now for the start.
That's probably not a bad thing.
I think it's good for everybody.
And what will happen in terms of race distance? Will that still be the same distance, or will the race be shortened, or do you not know that?
Normally it should be still the 27 minutes.
So it's from when the clock was stopped, effectively. Okay, because aware that there's a schedule at the circuit with lots of other things on, so I have seen it at some events where they keep the clock running even though it's red flagged, don't they? And you see the it's a little church that is in the middle of the circuit, and there's a couple of guest houses and hotels there. I reckon the Sunday service tomorrow could be a bit noisy.
Yeah, it's such a nice place.
Oh, isn't it gorgeous?
Yeah.
Look at
I mean,
that.
from our place, we can see turn 3. We can see down here.
Oh.
If you're on the grandstand, you see barely everything.
Yeah.
So it's
great view,
it's
isn't
really,
it?
really nice. Yeah.
Because I guess we're in a kind of a bowl almost, and with so much gradient change, you can just see
uphill, yeah.
so much of it. And it is an absolute privilege to come here and to be able to watch this racing here at this circuit, which has so much history and started life as the Österreich-Ring and then became the A1 ring before becoming the Red Bull ring. So we are getting ready. We've had the 3-minute board. You can see doors flapping. I guess that's just keeping cool, is it?
Exactly. Yeah, it turns out to be pretty warm in these cars. You don't have air condition. I mean, you have a fan to put on, but it normally just works when you're driving. So that means, you just open the door and
Flap it around.
exactly, just to get a little bit of air.
Brilliant, brilliant. And that little bird there needs to get a move on because it's going to get very, very noisy. Okay, engines have started. We are ready to go racing again after a very big incident earlier on. We've had a red flag here. Jean-Baptiste Simonauer spun across the track, was collected by a number of cars, lots of damage, and we had to throw a red flag to clean it all up. Very pleased to report that nobody is injured that we're aware of, and the remaining cars are on the grid, and we are ready to go racing. And 27 minutes, we hope, of Porsche Carrera Cup lies ahead of us. The race is going to start behind the safety car. Won't be a standing start. So here we go. The safety car takes them away, and the next time round, the cars will receive what will effectively be the green flag. And the roar of these Porsche 911s is something to behold. And once again, I guess this is the lap where it's getting temperature into brakes and into tyres, and making sure it's a different discipline, I guess, because it's going to be a rolling start as opposed to a clutch start.
Exactly. I mean, with the standing start at the end, especially when you roll into the grid, you concentrate on your rear axle a little bit more. That's what you don't have to do now.
Yeah.
So for sure, it's going to be a little different. And yeah, the cars will be just lined up one after the other. And let's see how the start goes, and cross fingers that we don't have any big incidents now.
Yeah, we definitely don't need any more of those. So our leader is Larry Tenvoorde and Julian Andlauer in second, Dylan Pereira third, and Luca Rettenbacher in fourth, and the 77 car Leon Kohler in fifth, with Henrik Skoog in sixth. And that's the order you can see on the track. You can just see them picking up the dust where they put the whatever it was they put down to pick up the fluid that had been leaked after the accident.
Yeah, you see a lot of cars avoiding it. So
yeah,
it's going to be interesting because it was a coolant fluid.
Yeah.
Because it came from the front. So normally it should be all right to go over it, but yeah, let's see how it goes for the first lap.
I don't know what they put down on it. It's like cement dust or something, I guess. But it's not going to be as grippy as the track. And there's a furry fella. I bet he's hot today. And so we look on the cars on their well, it's not a formation lap. It's they're behind the safety car, and we're heading in towards turn 9, getting ready to resume racing with less than 25 minutes left, and we are just getting heat into tyres, into brakes, getting ready to go.
Yeah, it seems like they're doing a second formation lap because safety car is still having the lights on.
Oh, so right. Okay, yes.
On track.
Yeah, so could that be as a way of clearing the track, picking up debris?
And also coming to the fluid stuff. Maybe, I mean, it helps when you have some cars running over it, just taking away the dust and all the stuff.
Yeah. So that's kind of wise move to just get the rubber back down there and kind of give their track a bit of a clean up. There's no better clean up than the tyres of a racing car, I guess. So here we can see then coming up the hill. You still have no idea how steep that hill is until you've actually walked up it, have you?
Yeah, definitely.
I had to have a sit down after I went up there yesterday. So, yes, hopefully will be ready to go racing next time around. So drivers still just weaving to get the heat into those tyres behind the safety car, and we're waiting for the safety car lights to go out, which will be our indicator that we are ready to go racing. Just leading me into turn 6 at the moment, and yes, we've had notification from race control. Safety car is in this lap, so we can go racing, and that is good news for everybody. It's a big crowd here this afternoon. We're so pleased you could join us as well. We've had some great racing already, and we've got great racing to come. Don't you just know it? The cars into section 2 of the track, and round to turn 7, and we're gearing up to go green flag. This time around, the safety car pulls away, the lights are off. Now Larry ten Voort is holding back, just doesn't want to get too close to the safety car, and it's his decision when he wants to nail that throttle and go. It's down to Dylan Pereira to anticipate when that is going to be, and it looks like he's gone. Larry ten Voort, he's got his foot on the accelerator, and Dylan Pereira has anticipated it quite well, I would say. And so many races won and lost on restarts behind a safety car, but Dylan Pereira has got Larry ten Voort right in his sights as we see somebody just going out and picking up the dirt. The cars come screaming down the home straight, and Dylan Pereira looking on the inside and the outside. But Larry ten Voort is holding on to that lead, and now we have Andlauer.
Same situation as at the start.
Yeah.
Pereira was going for P1, and was coming from the outside.
Yeah.
But then Andlauer took the chance, and now Julien is in a good position. So let's see how they're going to make it into turn 4, and now we really have to see. Yeah, we really have to see how they manage the coolant fluid stuff.
Yes, because that's about where they're about to hit, and we've got Luca Rettenbauer who has a bird's eye view of it. This is the corner, and it's interesting, he tucks right back in onto the inside there. Doesn't look like there's an issue with fluid on the track, does it? So it's Andlauer and Pereira who are side by side. Great racing from these two drivers, don't you think?
Yeah, you cannot overtake it to turn 6 on the outside.
No one's told him that.
I think this was pretty clear that Dylan would close the door.
Yeah.
But
Julian, he's just being very punchy here on the restart of this race. We see another car competing further back, and it's just so even, isn't it? So level, this playing field.
Yeah, I think also this was Julien just did was already a track limit, so we have to keep an eye on this.
Right.
Where we see, because normally if you have 3 track limits or 3 times track limits, you have to have a drive-through. So let's see how this is going to affect the race. But for the moment everything looks pretty clean and good.
And a drive-through in this race. And we've got another one. Oh, dearie me, the 66 car of Andreas Szczepanski. Szczepanski, if I pronounced that right,
yeah.
who has got a front wheel that is not pointing in the right direction, and he is off. It looks like he is fairly safe, so I don't think. And we've got the I've got identifying cars here, right, left, and centre.
Yeah, Pereira is making a move, or trying to move on 1040, and Andlauer just lost the place to Rettenbacher. So he was pretty aggressive at the beginning. But it seems like with being that aggressive, he lost a little bit of momentum. And now we also see Köhler trying to make a move on him. But I just said, I think it's not possible to overtake it to turn 6. And we see Julien.
And it happens.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Great job.
It's wonderfully competitive, and we can see Larry ten Voort under immense pressure from Dylan Pereira, and really good to see that he's not just clearing off into the distance. What a battle we have for the lead, and what a battle we have for 3rd place, and the cars just in a big row here. There's nobody who is escaping down the road, and we have yellow flags waving, and I'm wondering if that is for the stranded car that we saw earlier, as Dylan Pereira takes another look on the outside of ten Voort, tucks back to the inside. Is what you said before, it was never going to work. It's about putting the pressure on, I guess, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah, he's trying to get a good position for turn 3 up the hill, but it's, for me it seems like that Larry...
and is he... Sorry
he's
to
just
interrupt.
Covering,
no, he's just... I thought that...
it doesn't work on the outside.
Yeah. Can you tell I've never driven down here? Does it show?
But maybe Julien shows us something else.
So here we go, the first three there in your shots. And Julien Andlauer looking racy as well. And he is close right up on Dylan Pereira, who just takes another look on the inside of Larry Ten Voorde. Ten Voorde, though, he's just putting the car exactly where he needs to put it, isn't he?
Yeah, for me it looks like a little bit that 1040 is maybe a little bit low on tire pressures.
You think so?
To be prepared for the end. And Pereira looks super strong for the moment, so maybe he started a little bit higher just to be there for the beginning. Same like Julien. So it will be pretty interesting as well how the cars will react throughout the race.
So you'd start with lower tyre pressures and then they'd raise as the race goes on, and that would then give you more pace in the latter part of the race, I guess.
Yeah, but exactly as soon as you go over something like 1.9, 1.95 bars, the car is just oversteering, understeering. So there's a limit where you shouldn't go over. Yeah. And it's not easy in conditions like this just to match that. So that's
quite a skill, isn't it?
Easy. Yeah.
Quite a skill. Yeah, absolutely. There you go. There's our lead three. This is a enthralling battle for the lead. Larry Ten Voorde, Dylan Pereira, Julien Andlauer, and we could just see three into the corner doesn't go.
Yeah, that was Louis Henkefent. He was coming from the back because he had a black flag in qualifying. Yeah. So he had to come from the back. And he ran into Saul Hack and Andreas Szypanski. It was a pretty special move, I don't know. And
we've got a change here. Yes. And Julien Andlauer has found a way past Dylan Pereira just while we were looking at that. And up into second place goes the number 2 car, Julien Andlauer. Has he got anything for Larry Ten Voorde? We don't know how he got past Dylan Pereira. No mean feat on this track, and hopefully we'll see a replay of it. But already putting a bit of space between himself and Pereira in third.
Yeah, he seems pretty strong. I'm a little bit surprised that Amon Müller is not really moving forward. He's still sitting P8.
Yes.
I thought after his good lap time in qualifying that he's... there we see.
Yeah, we see what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell us what happened here then.
Just Julien was having a better exit out of turn 3, and then into turn 4 he just had a momentum, just went past. He used the slipstream a little bit and then the side draft. And the side draft is pretty important in the Cup car. Perfectly done. Yeah.
That's great insight. That's really good insight. Thank you for that. So there we can see then our first three. And now
he's closing up on
Larry, putting the pressure on. And
he's trying again the same. Now he's going to have a good exit, and he's trying exactly the same.
So does that work, trying to cut back to the inside out of that corner? Look at him glued to the back bumper of the Ten Voorde car. He takes another look onto the inside. Great drive. Larry.
He's pushing him.
And they make contact. There's smoke there. Don't know whether there's any damage from the Larry Ten Voorde car. That might attract attention from the stewards, but Julien Andlauer has now got his nose in front there side by side, but Larry Ten Voorde, he knows how to make that Porsche 911 very wide, doesn't he?
Yeah, it was really nice driving for both of these guys. Julien, again, he tried to cut back behind Larry, but it didn't work out. But you see again now Dylan closed up.
Yes, and I guess that when you're fighting side by side, that's just going to allow everybody behind to close right in. And also Luca Rettenbacher, who has closed in on this lead battle as well, as we see again. Gosh, that could have ended in tears, couldn't it?
Yeah. It was close.
Is that something that you think a race steward would take action on, or show a black and white flag to?
No, that's just. I'm pretty sure both of these guys would say the same. This was like normal racing, and a little contact here was not unfair at all. Everybody wants to see that.
Yeah, and we see on board of that replay, and that really was very close, as we see again Andlauer and Pereira also getting stuck in, and the two teammates behind. That's Rettenbacher and Koffler, who are side by side. And we come through for the lead again, and here he is. Tell us what's happening.
Exactly, you've seen it exactly. He was super close next to him. He used the side draft and then went away. That gives the car a little push. He was...
onto the dirt.
he went wide. That's not good. I think he will lose. Oh yeah, big time.
Oh, what a shame. And also Koffler went out there as well, but Andlauer has got problems, hasn't he?
No, I think the problem is if you get into the gravel, you're just stuck. It soaks you into the gravel, and now he's on P12 or 11.
So we have a replay here of what happened. So tell us again what your perception was of what happened here.
Yeah, he was just too close behind the other car, lost a little bit of front grip, understeered, and went into the gravel. And as you see now, he's trying to come back, but he cannot. Just the gravel soaks you into the gravel pad. And
So I guess he considers himself lucky that he's actually not just become beached in the gravel trap.
Yeah, I mean, you normally you're not beached, but it just ruins your race because you cannot come out of it too quickly. You see it at Köhler as well. He went in a little bit. Yeah. And here you see it clearly. He just stays in there. And I mean,
So the 77 car, Leon Köhler, he's almost was an innocent bystander who just got caught up in that, I guess.
Yeah, he somehow he did exactly the same. Here you see it again. Yeah, he was too close, lost the sight on street, and then he just went in there.
It's so good to have the insight of a driver as opposed to somebody who's never driven talking about it, and it gives you a much better appreciation of what the drivers are thinking and what they're doing and how they're coping with it. And is that
Müller. Oh my God!
So
that's a bad day for Lechner.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? So both of the Lechner cars are going out through the gravel trap, and that's Müller as well. Who's,
he was pushed out by Van Lagen. I mean, this was not because Van Lagen, he couldn't hold the line on the inside. He was too late, and there was nothing to do for Michael Müller. So he had to go wide to avoid a crash. For Lechner it's really bad because Simenauer lost the car, Andlauer just went into the gravel. Now Müller. It's just Pereira who's left.
we don't even want to look at him now. So Pereira, who is in second place, and he is the great hope for that team. Has he got anything for Larry ten Voorde? That is the question. And Redenbacher in third, and Henrik Skog, who has just very gently been picking up the pieces, up into fourth place.
Julio is angry.
Yes, you think so?
Now he's trying on Van Lagen, but I guess he's not the easiest guy to overtake.
No.
Really, really experienced, and I mean, Julio, he's super quick, but he's an aggressive driver.
Yeah.
You have to be in that category. But with his style now, he lost quite a lot of space. So let's see where he can end up. But now it's just about stay cool
and keep it, because I imagine when you've been in a lead position like he was, challenging for the lead, then you lose it, that you can come back and you're trying too hard, as we see the number 5 car of David Kolkman going out wide as well. I guess you can sometimes, the red mist descends and you end up driving too hard.
Exactly. I mean, and also you lose a little bit of your focus. Because you are angry and maybe still thinking about the situation you had before, but then it's just to focus on the race again. I mean, he's still now in P8 fighting for P7, so it's still good points, and he's a Porsche junior in his second or third year, so he should focus on the championship. So let's see how he does, and I'm for sure he's Müller had to stop.
Yeah, that's not looking good for Michael Müller, is it?
It's a really bad year for him in Carrera Cup. In Super Cup, he's doing really, really good. But in Carrera Cup...
Really? Yeah.
He got collected in Hockenheim, and really bad for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we continue now. Yes, carry on.
Yeah, it's Skog trying to move on Rettenbach again. He's trying to cut back.
Yeah.
But it was pretty well done by Rettenbacher because he slowed down on the apex a little bit, so he couldn't come to the inside. So he's fine for the moment.
So Larry ten Voorde continues in the lead as we watch that battle, and there's Skog putting the pressure on Rettenbacher again on that, and just using everything they can think of to get through. And Rettenbacher, he knows just how to keep that 20 car behind him, doesn't he? So there we see that's the battle for the final podium position. Luca Rettenbacher and Henrik Skog and they are very close together. At the front, Larry Ten Voorde has a gap over Dylan Pereira, which is looking again at contact.
This was the fight for the M Championship. Was Stefan Reykhoff trying to move on Carlos Rivas? But it was just, as I said, into turn 4. If you try to overtake, normally it's with contact, and if you do it wrong, you spin yourself.
Yes, you can see despair. It's Christy Duber, that, isn't it? You see the despair in his face. He's animated at the best of times, and yes, clearly very frustrated by the events. That's a great shot. And there you can see the first 4 cars all together. The first 2 just maybe pulled away a bit, and just have a listen to what Ammermuller has to say.
Yeah, he's just saying that in his opinion, Jaap van Lagen should be disqualified for that because he was just running into him. As I said, it was not really. He was on the outside and he was clearly ahead, and then he just went into him.
Okay.
They're talking about it. For him, it was a little bit of bad luck because his first start was pretty good, and he was making up some good positions. And then in the second start, he had to go back to P8. So for him, this was pretty bad luck. But yeah, that's the rules. And he's not happy with Jaap at the moment. But I mean, that's pretty natural, I guess.
That's understandable, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Good, thank you for the translation on that again. That would have been just me sitting there trying to guess what he was saying. So, a lot of drivers going really wide on that corner and pushing that the track limit there. You can see them really going wide, can't you?
Yeah, in the last corner, it's okay, because if you are too wide, you end up understeering, so you lose time. So everybody's trying to go wide, but not too wide,
right?
Because then you just lose time. So.
And we can see Kolkman and Arkin Acker there just jostling for position. Sorry to interrupt there, but the just on camera there, that's the number 5 car. David Kolkman and Alex Arkin Acker. And who's that that's behind them? That is the...
I think it's the feature. It's the
yes,
Project 1 car.
Richard Wagner, yes, for Hoover Racing. And he just gets a move onto the inside and makes it stick on the inside of the Arkin Acker car. So that's another position made, and that is quite a long way back. That's just battling for 15th and 16th place there.
Yeah, in the M class now it's Sager in front of Rivas and Jeserich. So yeah, they're quite at the end of the field, but I mean, they're doing an amazing job coming here. They're amateurs, not paid racing drivers. Yeah, coming here, being in that competitive field. So heads off to these guys, because I can tell you it's pretty tough. I did some races in Porsche Carrera Cup Australia 2 years ago. Yeah. And it wasn't too easy, to be honest.
Yeah, you don't say. As we see the number 9 car of Jaap van Lagen, who went hideously wide, and I don't think he gained an advantage out of that, did he?
Exactly, I was talking about in turn 10. If you go wide, you just lose a lot of time.
Yeah.
Julien went past, so he's back into P7. And now we see it's going to be a drive-through for Jaap for pushing Michael Ammermuller. Right. So yeah, his race is more or less over as well.
Yeah, so he'll be out of the points. Yep. And so Michael Ammermuller gets that one wish, even if nothing else has gone well for him this afternoon. So we continue, and is that... Oh, sorry, yes, that's... I completely lost where we were there. So, yeah, Jaap van Lagen there, and ahead of him, that was Waliko and Julian Andlauer. So there's Andlauer. There is the number 9 car of Jaap van Lagen, as they continue to race with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left of this race. It soon melts by, doesn't it? And nobody is disappearing off into the distance. Our leader is still Larry Ten Voorde, looking to make it 4 out of 5 and 5 out of 5 podiums during this season. So he is still the man on a mission, and you can see the lead that he has now is up to just under a second from Dylan Pereira in second place.
Yeah, we see that Hendrik Skog went past Luca Rettenbacher.
Well spotted.
Exactly. I don't know where he did it.
No.
But yeah, pretty strong performance by Hendrik Skog.
Here we go.
Exactly, there we see. Yeah.
Locked up, did he?
He locked up into turn 4.
Yeah.
But could avoid the gravel, so good job. But that's so easy because it's going downhill and you start to turn, so it's so easy to lock up the front right at that point. So yeah.
So imagine the gradient changes on this track. It's a whole different science driving it to a track that is predominantly flat, I guess.
Definitely, exactly. Especially with the braking deep into the corners, you really have to keep an eye on this and be really sensitive with this. And here we see, Luca Rettenbacher, he's trying to fight back. He's trying on the outside.
Yes.
Wow.
Whoever told him it wasn't possible to do that? He almost made it stick as well, didn't he?
And he tried it, but I think normally it's not possible. And,
and good driving from Skoog to hold him off there and say, here he comes again, looking on the outside of the number 20 car of Henrik Skoog. This is Rettenbacher that we're riding on board with, and definitely looking like he's looking to make a move on the Henrik Skoog car onto the home straight, and we're on board again with Rettenbacher looking into turn 1, but that's never going to work, is it? And we know that already.
Exactly, he's trying to focus on a good exit. We've seen Skog going over the track limit. I mean, we haven't... there is some track limits.
Oh, that's...
For Julien Andlauer. Black-white flag for
yeah.
disrespected track limits.
Yeah.
Take care.
And we see him going one there. Just looking, we saw the drive-through for Jaap van Laken, which we've already seen as well on our screen. So this battle is excellent between Henrik Skoog and the 92 car of Luca Rettenbacher. And we can see that it does look like Rettenbacher's car has come on more as the race has progressed, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But you see immediately these two guys are fighting, and you see Leon Köhler and Tony Wolff coming from the back, closing the gap, and it has been 2 cars fighting. And yeah, I think within the last lap it's going to be 3 or 4 cars fighting for the final podium spot.
And this is what happens, I guess, when you've got 2 cars that are battling side by side. It just allows the field to compress up on them.
Yeah.
And you can see how close Rettenbacher is now. He's
he's trying everything. He has a lot of speed. Looks really, really strong. But here you cannot overtake him. But he's going wide. But he went wide.
Push him into a mistake.
Yeah,
and that is it, isn't it? Job done. In fact, gonna let Köhler through as well, isn't he? So that's a bad lap for Henrik Skoog from 3rd.
It was the last corner.
And we're on to the final lap now.
No.
So, the checkered flag was out.
Exactly.
Where did that come from?
I have no idea.
We were so enthralled with the battle, we didn't even see the checkered flag come out. Time's up. I could have sworn that
it's not up.
It said final lap.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a bit confusing.
I think there might have been an issue there where we had the last lap board and the checkered flag at the same time. But whichever way you look at it, it's a victory for Larry ten Voorde. Dylan Pereira 2nd, and I'm guessing Luca Rettenbacher gets 3rd.
Exactly. So good job from him.
Yeah.
He was trying something which normally doesn't work going into turn 8 or turn 9. But Hendrik Skog made a mistake on the podium step. Really, really good. And also Leon Köhler, the fastest rookie on P4. Really, really strong.
That's a great performance from him, wasn't it?
In his first year. That's really strong.
So, what a race. That was eventful, including the end, which caught us all snoozing. Incident between car 44 and 15 under investigation. So that is the Kaibach, and 15 is the Bessler car.
Berkay Bessler, I think he was pretty much in the front, Berkay Bessler.
Yeah, they weren't together on the track at the end, so clearly something happened between them, and that's something that will be investigated after the race. But our winner, he's made it 4 out of 5 races. Is there any stopping this man?
I don't think so, because Also, Julien Andlau and Michael Ammermüller, who have been the closest competitors, have had a lot of issues in this race.
Yeah.
So for Larry, this was just perfect.
Yeah.
So I think now it's Larry Tenford in front of Dylan Pereira in the standings.
We can just see there the two cars crossing the finish line. That's something we missed last time. So
I think everybody was a bit surprised because they're putting the pit board out.
yeah, nobody knew it was happening, and I'm guessing the safety car, the red flag, has probably not helped with coordinating timings either. So I think there's no doubting our first three there. We'll let the stewards decide about the rest of them. And then we see again that move from not Rettenbacher.
It was
Rettenbacher.
It was basically not a move. He just went to the inside. And I don't know why Scope went wide.
I mean, that's the dream scenario. Is you distract him into a mistake. I guess he's so busy looking in his mirrors, he forgets to turn the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well done.
So there's our winner, Larry Tenvoorde, stepping out of the car. He probably feels like he's been in there for about an hour. And he takes another victory. And who can stop the steamroller? Yeah, 4 fingers. Yes, we know what that means. 4 out of 5. And when his worst result of the season has been P2, you know it's been a good season so far. And the trick now, I guess, is going to be to keep it going. And congratulations from everybody. So we're back in Parc Fermé and interview with...
Yeah, first of all, they talked to Luca Rettenbacher. It's his home race, so he's for sure super happy getting a podium within the last corner, so he's just over the moon at the moment. So, I mean, for him, it's really, really nice. Yeah, his car was really, really good. That was what we've seen as well. His speed was really, really nice. But his tires have been pretty at the end, have been done. And then the last move on Skog worked out, and yeah, he's super happy.
Brilliant. I can't tell you how good it is having someone translating this for us. It's wonderful, because it's just good insight, and it's straight from the drivers, so that's wonderful. Brilliant. There you see the first 3 cars there from up above as we get ready for the podium. Right, who are we talking to now then? I can hear voices.
Yeah, so at the moment we're just waiting for the guys to come up to the podium. Luca Rettenbacher had to go on the scales for whatever. But they're searching for somebody to talk to.
Oh, great to see.
Yeah, they're starting to talk about Walter Lechner. I think he's not too happy.
No.
That's nice. He's sending congratulations to Luca Rettenbacher, who's not driving for Lechner Racing, but he's happy because he's also an Austrian. Yeah, same to Larry Tenforde. Yeah, he's happy with a 2nd place for Dylan Pereira.
Cool.
But now they're starting to talk about the bad things.
Yes, we're interested to get his insight onto it.
Exactly, that's what I was talking about as well. Julien was so close behind Tenforde that he lost the view on track, and that's why his left wheel dropped into the gravel trap. And yeah,
cool.
From his view, that was the reason for that incident. Yeah, they're talking about the incident between Van Lagen and Ammermüller. No, he has no opinion on that. and he's just saying he knows Jaap, and he's saying it with a smile.
So what's not being said is probably saying more than what is being said.
Exactly.
He's just smiling.
Exactly. He's just talking about prize money and stuff for Jan van Lagen.
Is he really?
Exactly. So, there's going to be no prize money for Mr. van Lagen today.
Brilliant. So there we go, some big smiles there. We're getting ready for the podium celebrations.
Yeah, for him it's an incredible year. 4 out of 5 races.
That is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean,
in a one-make series like this, that's pretty special.
That is, isn't it? We haven't seen anything like that for a while, I guess, have we? No.
I mean, within the last years, you always have seen guys like Sven Müller, Dennis Olsen, Thomas Preining, who were more or less dominating. But all of them have been backed by Porsche.
Yeah.
And I mean, Larry, he's not a Porsche junior, or and he's just doing a really, really great job.
You think it may be time for him to start looking at the next challenge in life?
Yes, maybe also the manufacturers should have a look on him.
Yes.
To make the next step, because if you dominate the Carrera Cup, which for sure is the most competitive one-make series in the world, then I think it's time to move on.
Yes. And I think all the other drivers are probably saying that to him as well.
Exactly. They would be. I think they are pretty happy if he would be gone.
If he would just move on.
Yeah.
So we're just getting ready for the podium celebrations. There we go. There's our classification. Larry ten Voorde, Dylan Pereira, Luca Rettenbacher, Leon Kohler and Henrik Skoog, with Tony Wolff, we didn't even mention his name, in 6th, from Julian Andlauer making a recovery into 7th, and Igor Valiko in 8th. Sandra Kaibach and Gustav Malja, Sebastian Dahm and Jackson Evans, he's had a quiet afternoon in 12th, from David Kolkman, Richard Wagner, Alex Arkin-Acker, who we saw getting involved, and Bezler, Nicholas Skoll, Yanis Vice, Louis Hegfend, who also had an afternoon to forget, and you saw the rest of the positions there. So the interviews are ongoing, and we're just waiting for the podium presentations. If you hear of anything interesting in the interviews, be sure to tell me. It's just like, nah, nothing interesting.
No,
it's all filler.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right, here we go. Podium time. There he is. 4 wins, punches the air. Can anybody stop this man? Larry ten Voorde. Dylan Pereira in 2nd, and Luca Rettenbacher, who really just picked up the pieces, drove well. It's time for national anthems. So, national anthem done. Time for the trophy presentation.